Hello, welcome to Cataclysm Quick Tip episode number 30, where we will discuss safe mode settings. So there is a safe mode in Cataclysm which will stop you from moving accidentally whenever there are zombies or other dangerous creatures nearby. And it's a very important setting to use, especially for newer players, until you get really comfortable with moving around, especially if you're auto-moving. By that I mean you're holding down a movement key, so you're rapidly moving, and it kind of builds up a movement buffer of those key presses. That can be super dangerous if you have safe mode turned off, because by the time you recognize that a zombie or other monster is hitting you, you could have already queued up 10, 20 key presses, and you'll be dead before you can actually respond. So you want to be very careful with the safe mode setting, and the way you do that is with the exclamation point key on your keyboard. So you'll notice down here, notices whether safe mode is on or off. So you can use that exclamation key to turn it off, turn it on, turn it off, turn it on, and you'll also see an indicator right here in the upper right below your statistics. It says safe when it's on, and it has no information there when it's turned off. So be aware of when it is off or on. That is how you manually enable it or disable it. But a lot of players don't know you can actually change the behavior of the safe mode. So to do that, if you press escape to go to your options area, in the general section on this very first screen, just arrow down to safe mode. This is where you can set whether safe mode is actually part of the game or not. You can disable it, turn it to false, or leave it true. By default, it is set to true. Now, next is what I find the most useful feature, the safe mode proximity distance. By default, this is set to 0, which means the max player view distance. What that means is if you are moving and safe mode is turned on, as soon as you spot any kind of hostile potential creature, it will automatically activate safe mode and prevent you from moving until you acknowledge that creature. And so it prevents you from auto-moving yourself into death. Now, I find that 0 option, max player view distance, somewhat irritating because it constantly engages just at distances that aren't really useful to me. So I tend to set mine down lower than the max view distance, depending on the environment I'm in, and you can change this on the fly to whatever setting you're comfortable with. I use 30 as a more reasonable number. Usually that will not engage it at crazy long distances constantly. It gives me enough time to respond if something dangerous does come within reach or range of me. But it cuts down on kind of the false positives, basically. So you can set this to whatever proximity distance you are comfortable with that you think you can handle, just to cut down on the number of times that it kicks in. So just be aware that that's a possibility. You can also turn on or off a safe mode while driving, auto reactivate safe mode, and then you can set how many turns go by before safe mode turns itself back on again. So if you want to be really careful and you're turning manually safe mode off and on again, you can set it to automatically turn back on in case you forget. That does happen to me on occasion, so I should probably play with this on, but I've kind of learned not to need it over time. So just use it if you feel that you need it in the early game, especially as you're learning things. But just realize that safe mode is something that is configurable, and like I said, the most valuable part of it I find is this proximity distance. I like to turn that down from the default max player view distance, just because I think having it trigger at things that are 55 spaces away, that's outside even their detection range, is a little extreme and not necessary in most cases. But it will depend largely on your comfort level and knowledge of the game. So I would start it at a pretty high level, even with the default, and then kind of decrease it as you get more comfortable with the game and with whatever level of the game you're at, or the environment you are particularly traveling through. So feel free to adjust that as you need to on the fly to make things a little easier for you. That's pretty much it for this Cataclysm Quick Tip. Hope you found the information useful. As always, like, comment, subscribe, and let me know down below or on my Discord channel just what you think, or if you have any suggestions for future episodes. Have a great day. Bye-bye.